Hi everyone, it's Tiffany, international healer and transformation teacher here. Today we are on day 5 of the Empowered Empath Challenge, and today's topic is to help you get off the emotional roller coaster so that we can become grounded in the center. I'm going to be talking about our emotional body and how we can heal it. Some of us suffer from traumatic experiences when we were in our childhood, and sometimes it's really easy for us as humans to store trauma in the body. We can store trauma through energetically in the energy body. We can store trauma physically, like stress and in the muscles, in the bones itself. We can also store emotions in our emotional body as well. So today is looking into how to release some of these trauma inside the body. There are many modalities out there, but I'm going to go with an energetic standpoint coming from being a Reiki master and drawing from my own experiences. So if you are an empath who have been really sensitive to other people's emotions or energies, and you wanted to learn how to release some of that, right? One of my workshop participants last week mentioned how she used to be a really positive person. And because of her environment, she felt like she wasn't the same person that she was a couple of years ago. And she realized that it was because she was picking up a lot of negativity in her body, and thus changing her from the inside now. So now she's learning how to release some of these emotions that's stuck in the body. And the first thing that we want to understand is, what is the emotional body and why do empaths go on this roller coaster, right? So as empaths who are here for a purpose, you're here to make the world a better place, right? You're kind-hearted, you tend to give a lot, you attend to other people's needs. So as a talent, you're already really connected to other people's needs. You might be the person that, look at the person who's standing by themselves in the party and ask them or talk to them, make them feel more included. You might be the person that, take care of other people, but for yourself, you don't really take the time for yourself. For example, I used to feel cold a lot because I'm a Vata dosha. But I would rather suffer being uncomfortable than to bother someone to ask for, like, oh, can you turn the AC down? Or do you have any like blanket or jackets for me to keep myself warmer? So when you have trouble asking for your needs, you also need to understand that you need to start practicing that to fulfill your emotional body's needs. So just like your physical body needs water, it needs food, your emotional body has needs as well. So the first question I have for you today is, if you're watching this video right now, whether it's on replay, comment below, say hi. When you comment on my videos during this challenge, you get entered to a draw. So step 1 is you have to register through the link in the description. And step 2 is to comment on the video so I know you participated. And at the end of the challenge, I'm going to draw a random winner who's going to win a healing session with me, value at $120. So don't miss this opportunity, participate, and I'm sure that you learn some potent teachings that I'll be sharing with you. So to tap into your emotional body right now, ask yourself, what are some of my top emotional needs? And in my journey healing from depression and anxiety, I realized that I was suffering because I wasn't feeding and nourishing my emotional body. And as a result, my physical body started suffering as well. And it's really important for us to understand what makes you feel you are seen, you're heard, you're supported, you're taken care of. And it's going to look different for everyone. For example, for extroverts, just for example, extrovert might want to have a large quantity of friends. Whereas for an introvert, they actually just want that 1 or 2 friends that are closer to them. So they focus more on quality. Asking yourself, wow, so what are my emotional body needs? What feeds my emotional body? Do I like going out with people? Do I like to share my story with people? Do I like to interact with people? Do I like to play sports with people? What makes you feel recharged by the end of the day? And you can also analyze through your own experiences. So think back on times where you hang out with a group of people and you feel amazing, you feel blissed out. So yesterday I was hanging out with Peter, Linda, Mandika, and her future roommate, and my partner Yashin, and we were just like in a really nice frequency. There's so much love and so much light. So there are people that uplift your vibration and energy just by being around them. So think about those experiences and why those people help you feel full, help you feel light and so open. What is it about them that they have this quality that makes you feel this way? And once you realize your top 3 emotional needs, comment below as well. Like, share with us, right? What are your needs? So once you have clarity, then you'll be able to bring it through action. So if you're someone that focuses more on the quality of relationships like I am, then I will know that if I am like stressed or down, I'm going to reach out to those people that is close to me, that makes me feel safe, and as a result, meeting my emotional needs. Okay, so take a moment, really think back, okay, what are some of the things that I seek for my emotional body, for myself to feel fulfilled? The other way is, given that I'm an energy healer, spiritual healer, I use crystals to help me heal as well. So amethyst, it's a really good healing stone for empaths, really good healing stone for light workers, earth angels. If you're a nurse, if you're any type of healthcare practitioner where you deal with clients on a regular basis, having amethyst in your house or bedside is going to help you clear a lot of energy. Another stone is actually at my altar is labradorite. Labradorite is the stone for healers as well. So it cleanses your energy, take care of the healer. Rose quartz, ooh, it's a little bright. It's also really good for healing the emotional body. And when I was healing from depression, this was the first stone that I picked out for myself to help me heal energetically. I also have green color, heals really well as well. This is green fluorite, and it comes in the form of an egg, which I sometimes put in my pocket and I would just hold it, almost like a stress ball. Yeah, let me know if you're an empath. Do you work with crystals? Are you really good with feeling into the energy of the crystal? Like, let's say you go into a crystal store and you pick up a crystal, you'll be able to tell what this crystal is going to do for you, right? That's one of the empath talents. So if you're a crystal empath, share with me, what is your favorite crystal as an empath? Which crystal do you use for your daily basis? We've talked about the 4-step energy management system in day 2. So share with me. I love to see some pictures or your favorite crystals. So the emotional body, energetically speaking, is the second layer of your auric field. This is usually the auric field where is about this big, and this is where you see colors. Sometimes when people say, oh, your auric color is green or blue or red, they're really just saying the dominant color in your auric field. So your auric field can always change. It has this unique frequency, it's dynamic. It can be affected by other people's emotions and energies as well. So when I see interactions sometimes, right, if you see a nice person, well, a person, and then this is the next person. If this person all of a sudden become really angry and they're really frustrated, you feel this burst of energy coming off their auric field. And as the empath, you cowering, trying to like protect yourself, not out of fear, but you just don't want to pick up that anger energy within yourself. So your aura actually tilt away from this person. Really pay attention to your energy field. You guys are empath, you guys are really sensitive. Understand how your energy field is doing, right? If you're always constricting yourself, trying to hide from the world in the vibration of fear, you're going to cause a lot of compression. It's going to feel like a pressure cooker. And that's one way where a lot of people feel chronic fatigue, right? We always have energy issues because we are not grounded. We don't work on our energy body enough. So our energy system is either stagnant, stuck, holding on to a lot of emotions. And as you understand your emotional body, you also understand the language of your emotions and feelings. So for a very long time in my life, I have no idea what it feels like to be angry, or no idea what it feels like to be shamed, or what does abandonment feels like? What does like anger do? Like, I have no idea. I would just feel bad. And when like my therapist asked me, why do you feel bad? And I would just say, no idea. I just all of a sudden feel bad. But when you start to pay attention to your emotional body, you start to understand how it tries to communicate with you. So here's an exercise for you to try out is next time, or even just right now, tuning into your body. How does your body feel? Observe, become aware. This is where mindfulness practice come in really helpful, right? Do you feel any tensions on your shoulders? Do you feel any tensions in your stomach? And go a step beyond that. If there's tension in the stomach, how does it feel like? Does it feel like there's a metal ball sitting there? Does it feel like it's a knot? Does it feel like there's someone punching in it? Try to describe that feeling as much as you can and write it down on a piece of paper if that helps you. For anger, for example, for me, my cheeks would feel really hot. Hi, January. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you and Keith and your loved one is having a nice weekend. Yeah, for me, it was like my cheeks would turn really red. And I used to feel ashamed of feeling anger. So not only do I feel angry, I'm like ashamed of my anger. Until I realized from day one's teaching, anger is actually a really good indicator for empaths to see where's their boundaries. When you feel like you are irritated or angry, it usually means that, some of my boundaries have been crossed. And it allows you to self-reflect what happened, what is it that they did that made me feel this way. So in a way, like taking your power back from anger, not to feel like, oh, I'm powerless because I'm feeling anger or I'm a bad person. And if you want more tools, I have a free how to process anger e-course on my website. Just go to myinnertemple.com/freebies and you can sign up for that course where I teach you 5 techniques that you can use to process anger. And it's only about 1 hour long. Each video is about 5 minutes. It's very easy to go through. So there's a lot of emotions that we hold on to on our emotional body, right? Not only does it feel like this tension, when I was going through depression, I think what a lot of people don't understand is they look at us and they say, oh, physically you look fine. Or people who have social anxiety, they're like, you look fine. But just because you can't see the illness on the physical level doesn't mean it doesn't exist, right? So as a person who's gone through depression, you might be feeling something like a heavy heart or a really painful heart. Like I knew there was nothing wrong with my heart, but I would constantly feel this pain on my chest. And that is the emotional body speaking to me. And for a long time, I didn't know what it was. So my insight to share with you is that whatever your body is trying to communicate with you, observe it, connect with it through your breath and allow it to happen. Acknowledge it, acknowledge and allow and accept that it is happening, right? The more you push against it, the more you resist it, the more you're going to cause yourself to feel exhausted and feeling fatigue. So using it as a signal, almost like dissecting it, understanding it, using it as an opportunity to connect with yourself more deeply. Okay, so some of the key emotions that you can store in your body negatively are maybe fear of abandonment. So that was one of the biggest shadows that I have to heal and work on is, feeling abandoned. And when I feel abandoned, I realize that I would get triggered and get angry because then I would feel like, oh, okay, the world is against me. And so by understanding how my body responds to the fear of abandonment, then I can come to catch myself faster and be like, okay, abandoned, what happened that caused me to feel abandoned? And then is it really true? Is it just my brain trying to trick me? Or is there validation here that, yes, this is what is happening, and how can I solve it consciously? We have like feeling of shame. I've talked about shame before, how shame is so sneaky. It comes through like your blind spots and it can keep you in a stuck situation. As shame, rejection, shame, rejection, shame, rejection. This can actually happen in relationships a lot, where one person gets invalidated and then the other person keeps shaming them or rejecting them. And we all have done it in certain levels. So understanding where it's coming from. Guilt, loss or rejection, anger, lack, so fearing that you won't have enough or won't have your needs met, boundaries, anxiety, fear, control, trust, worry, resentment, stubbornness, all of these can be stuck in the body. So I was reading an article on, I believe, psychology today saying, what's the difference between human beings and, let's say, a deer who just outran a wolf, for example? It can just, once the wolf is gone, the deer can just go back to eating like nothing happened. And what the scientists, one of the studies says that what happened to the deer is after the wolf is gone, they shake their body. They like, whoa, and they shake off all the stress out of their body. So they do it biomechanically and they do it bioenergetically. And humans, we don't really do that. So as a result, the energy keep piling up every day, piling up, and then slowly it can create a physical illness, for example. So next time, if you are struggling with some kind of health chronic issues, start learning how to speak to your emotional body is going to be really helpful. For example, and this is not new, right? Louise Hay has talked about it in her book, How to Heal Your Body. Yvette Rose has talked about it in her Metaphysical Anatomy teaching. So here's just some 4 examples. Number 1 is ankles. So if you have problems with your ankles, there could be emotional reasons behind it, such as flexibility, right? Think about, when did it first happen? Was I inflexible about something? Was I trying to control the situation too much? Was I trying to control the other person's response? Was I being stubborn? And stubborn about what, right? And were you in a conflict with someone? Lower back, for example, a lot of times have to do with financial burdens. Sometimes have to do with under pressure, or it could be ancestral karma coming up for you to release. The knees usually has to do with changes. So is there a big change coming into your life, or that's happening in your life? Do you have a fear of moving forward or stepping into leadership roles? Do you feel pushed down or disempowered? Do you feel controlled, right? These problems can all arise in the knees. Your skin, for example, let's say if you have a rash or eczema, it might have to do with irritation. So what is it in your environment that is irritating you emotionally? Are there any resentment towards something? Are there any sensitivity, lack of boundaries or personal protection? Did you feel vulnerable? Were there any anger or any type of resentment? So tuning into the body and speak to your body. And yeah, so let me know how this teaching is helping you so far. So for me, for example, for a very long time, I had a TMJ problem. And I realized that it was because I would be afraid to say things that are wrong, say something wrong on live video that I don't mean, getting misunderstood because of what I say. So I will hold on a lot of tensions in the TMJ. The TMJ sometimes also have to do with a fear of authority figures. Like, I'm really rebellious since I was a young age, so I don't like to be controlled by another person. Eczema, for example, I already mentioned it, but it has to do with like irritation. Now, there's some thing around your environment that's causing you irritation, causing you to feel unsafe, causing you to feel vulnerable. Amazing. So let me know if you have any questions from today's challenge. Remember, you can always watch the replay and comments to get yourself entered into the draw for a prize, a free healing session. And we're more than halfway through the challenge, so if you have not already, join us in the private Facebook group, Empowered Empaths of Light, where I'll be sharing more teachings only in that group. You also get a private support from our community. Amazing. And the last tip I have for you is to shift your posture. So when we've been under stress or in trauma for a very long time, our body posture changes, right? A lot of times when I find myself in like big parties, when I was dealing with a lot of social anxiety, my shoulders go like forward, right? It tenses up, and I put my hand around my stomach, right? As a form of protection. So I had to slowly encourage myself to shift my posture, relaxing the shoulders, becoming more allowing, more in the flow. So yoga will help a lot with realigning your body, breath work, right? If you're someone like me who doesn't really like going to the gym, just doing some yoga poses, breath work really help with the posture and increasing your lung capacity once again. So shifting from willfulness to willingness, especially if you're female or in the feminine energy and you're stepping into your divine feminine power. A lot of times women are told to be like male, like go forward, go for it. It's very willful, but a lot of times when you are able to step into the divine feminine energy, you can balance it. It's not about always chasing, always hustling. Is sometimes about just trusting, surrendering, and attracting, right? The bees come to the flowers. The flowers doesn't chase after the bees. So be a flower, just allow things to come. Of course, you still have to do your work, but see if you can come to the space, give yourself some breathing room to become more willing. So instead of willfully trying to make things happen, step back, take a deep breath, and willingly allow it to happen. When you willful, you're like this, like, ha, ha. But when you are willful, you open up your arms and you're like, I'm ready to receive. So shifting your posture and even doing it as a exercise, right? If you find yourself crunching down, hunching over, open up your chest, open up your arms, receive. Go practice in these postures. And coaches such as Tony Robbins, he talks a lot about this, right? Watching your posture will slowly help you empower yourself, open up the energy channels in the body, and slowly help heal the emotional body. So those are the challenges I have for you today, is to start speaking to your emotional body, understand how trauma is stuck in the body, and then shifting your posture from willful to willing. Thanks for joining me in these teachings today, and I hope that you have a wonderful Sunday with your friends, with your family, or with your kitty cat at home. And I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow we're gonna talk about, let's see, awesome, the 4 principles of inner alchemy healing. So don't miss that, and I will see you tomorrow.